Hi YouTube, and welcome to Digital Tech. Today let's have a look at Phantom by HEX Gaming, which is basically a DualSense controller in disguise. And as you can see, I have a lot to talk about. Since I first got DualSense and throughout several years of trying different controllers for different platforms, DualSense is still my favorite gamepad ergonomically. I've been using PlayStation since PS4 and there was only one major problem with all of the controllers: stick drift. I've changed 4 DualShocks for the PS4 time being in my life. So far, 2 DualSense controllers have gotten stick drift and I'm so sick of it. And HEX Gaming Phantom Hall Effect version is here to solve this problem. They also have ALPS potentiometer version, but if you want to buy ALPS version, just don't. Hall Effect is far more superior and will last much longer. It's fully compatible with PS5, has all the DualSense features, so basically it's a DualSense with extra steps. HEX Gaming provided Phantom for review, but my opinions are completely independent and honest. If there are any shortcomings, I'll let you know, so companies make better products over time. HEX Gaming has no affection on this or any other of my reviews, and will watch them at the same time as you will. And let's begin with quick unboxing.
Got another one. Oh boy.
What's in the box? What's in the box, Brad Pitt? 7? Nothing? Yeah, I'm the jerk. What's in the box?
Yes.
And everything you got is in this carrying case. There's only paper in the box. Here's the guide, which includes warranty policy and your serial number, some more information in different languages. Here's a very informative manual in different languages as well, and a quick guide. So everything you need to know about this controller you can find in these 2 manuals. It's a hard shell plastic case covered in nylon and it has very good quality. And here's what you have inside. Controller itself, little box with all the sticks available for you. There are 8. 3-meter long braided cable with a very good quality and metal finish on it, silicone joystick protector rings, and this is why this controller is one of the best on the market, but more on this later. When you just receive this controller, it will look like this, without stick caps on it, and the D-pad and face buttons are covered in plastic cover.
Have I been that much of a burden?
It has 2 short sticks. These ones are like basic sticks from DualSense. Also you have 1 wider stick and it's short too, 1 short convex stick, 2 tall convex sticks and 2 tall wide sticks. I myself like convex sticks, so I use short one on the left stick and a long one on the right stick. It's very easy to install. And regarding whether they come out easy or not, no, they don't come out easily.
Are you insane? Stop attacking immediately.
It's quite difficult to take them off. So this is how I usually use this controller. The price is $250 and I have different color options. And comparing it to usual DualSense, it costs $80. And DualSense Edge costs $200. And throughout the video, I'll compare this controller to DualSense Edge primarily, because Phantom and Edge, they are 2 Pro controllers, so it makes sense to compare them, and even the price is around the same. HEX Phantom weighs 300 grams, while the usual DualSense weighs 20 grams less, 280 grams. In terms of how it feels in hands, it feels exactly the same as a usual DualSense, except for this controller has a rubberized grips, which make this controller feel even more expensive. Rubberized grips is what I've always wanted on standard DualSense, and it less likely slips from your hands during the sweaty gameplay. The battery is 1650 mAh and the battery life is exactly the same as on basic DualSense, which to be honest I'm not a big fan of, because even the new DualSense lasts only up to 5 to 6 hours. I mean, it's not a big problem for me personally, because nowadays I don't have time to play 8 hours a day straight, so it's not a problem for me. I think this might be not enough for you, except for sweaty lords, because they play wired anyway, so battery life doesn't matter to them. Even though battery capacity is bigger than the usual controller on the market, the battery life is still not that great. But to be completely honest, it's understandable because DualSense has a lot of technology inside. The stick technology is Hall Effect sticks, which are less prone to get stick drift. And after testing this controller for around 2 weeks, I should say I absolutely love these sticks. They're as smooth as butter and they're very precise. And you will see later my test results in aim labs to reflect this statement. Also, comparing these sticks to Edge, these sticks are better because they are Hall Effect, and also if at any point you get a stick drift on this controller, yes, Hall Effect and TMR, they all can get stick drift, but it's just less prone to it. You can use this calibration tool. It's absolutely amazing. I'll tell you about this later. Face buttons are membrane, the same as in the usual DualSense, and I would say out of the box, these buttons are a little bit more stiff than the usual DualSense, but after a couple of play sessions, they become become absolutely the same as the usual DualSense. Same goes to a D-pad. It's membrane, not clicky, feels a little mushy, but all of these I can say about the usual DualSense as well. These buttons are absolutely the same. And to be honest, I'm not a big fan of it. I would actually prefer that they switch these buttons to micro switch buttons. It has adaptive digital triggers exactly the same as the regular DualSense, except one thing. You can switch these triggers to micro switch and will become short travel micro switch button. It's an absolute game changer for FPS games. And comparing these two buttons to DualSense Edge controller, for example, which only shorten the travel, it doesn't have micro switch buttons under. So in this regard, this controller is much better. Only 5% of my viewers are subscribed. Let's make it to 10%. If you like my content, please consider to subscribe. By living in China, I can get controllers earlier than everyone else, so help my channel to grow bigger and I'll continue to produce great quality videos for you. Thank you. Bumpers are also exactly the same, except they're not. Let me show you what I mean. Because when you press bumper on outer side, it's okay, but if you start to press it inside, sometimes you can't even actuate the button. And I was wondering, why is it so? And for that, I only need to take out one of the bumpers, which is very easy on DualSense controllers, and compare it to the regular one. And here's the problem. Where the regular bumper on DualSense has its legs all across the bumper, HEX Phantom legs are a little bit moved to the right side. So here's how they compare. You see, this one is wide all across the bumper, and this one is not wide enough. And when you press on the right side, it's fine, but when you press on the right side, it doesn't actuate the button. And they're also not cross-compatible. Here's how you actuate the button on the regular controller. It's quite easy. And here's how you actuate the button on Phantom. It's very easy from right side, and it's almost impossible here. But to be honest, during the gameplay, you always touch the bumpers from the outer side, so it's not a big problem. But I suggest in the future versions of the HEX controllers, they use exactly the same bumpers as on regular DualSense. And to be completely honest, during my gameplay, I never have this problem. It's only when you try to do it on purpose. And here's another difference from the regular DualSense and DualSense Edge. Phantom has 4 extra remappable buttons on the back, and they are short travel micro switch buttons, while DualSense Edge has only 2 buttons on the back. In terms of placement and reachability, in my opinion, these buttons are the best of all the buttons I've seen on the market. Your fingers are easily resting in this position anyway, and even if you play with 2 fingers on top, it's still easy to reach. However, I have one small gripe. They're too easy to press, and I had accidental inputs during my gameplay. But I guess it's maybe a skill issue, because I don't really use 4 buttons that often in games anyway. But in the 2 weeks of using this controller, I can say I have a lot of accidental inputs because they're too easy to press. So in conclusion, placement is very nice, but I wish they were more difficult to press. Vibration on DualSense though feels absolutely amazing. This is still the best vibration on the market in my opinion. Maybe Nintendo Switch 2 vibration is good as well, but DualSense has the best vibration on the market. And it's not vibration, basically it's haptics. For some extra features, you have this button on the back, and this button will change your profiles. You can have up to 6 profiles in this controller. And if you tap it twice, it will change the color, which means you have changed your profile. If you want to remap the back buttons, first of all you need to turn on your controller and connect it to PC or the PlayStation 5, and then you need to hold this button for 3 seconds.
Are you sure this is the right way?
And when it starts to blinking, you need to hold K button and another button you want to remap it to. Let's say I want K3 button be a triangle. I need to hold them for a couple of seconds until this LED light start blinking red 3 times, and it should blink fast.
Of course.
Like this. And if you want to erase mapping, you can do this again, and it will blink 3 times, but this time it will be slow. Like this. 1, 2, 3. And also there is the calibration tool. This is the most unique thing about this controller. I've never seen anything like this before. This calibration tool will help you to fight a stick drift if at some reason it occurs on this controller. Also, you can do stick recalibration with this to make it more precise. To do that, you need to use this tool to open the top of the controller. Ну что ты, сука? To open the top of the controller.
All right.
like this.
Is anyone else getting hungry?
Then you put one side of this little cable right here, and the other side goes to calibration tool itself. I don't want to make this video too long, and not many people need this information right away, so I'm just letting you know you have this on this controller, and if you need more information, I'll leave the link in the description down below, because HEX Gaming themselves made a very good video about how to use this calibration tool. Regarding the control freaks, you don't really need them here, because you can adjust the length and the width of the thumbsticks just by replacing them. But if you still want to use control freaks, you can use this type of stick cap and just put PS4 style control freaks on them. They're exactly the same size as the usual DualSense controller. And now let's move to the tests. Polling rate test shows 250 Hz wired, but you can overclock it to 1000 Hz if you want. I've also tested polling rate on Bluetooth. It showed 30 milliseconds input delay, which means its polling rate is only 33 Hz. Stick analyzer shows 213 data points with 127 resolution. Not the best results. Triggers have almost no inner and outer dead zones, and microswitch triggers are instant, as it should be. As I've said before, I'm not a fan of DualSense D-pad. It's not good for fighting or fast-paced platforming games, same goes to the Phantom. Joysticks have no stick rebound, and the circularity is under 10%, which is completely fine for first-party controllers. And don't forget, you can recalibrate it yourself using the calibration tool, but for me, these results are completely acceptable. Button latency is great, pause if you need it. And here we go. Aim labs. I didn't have any warm-ups. These results are straight after I took the controller out of the box, and the first try felt great immediately, 32k points. But on the second try I adapted and got 39k points, which is close to my best result ever. But that's not all. On my third attempt, I've beaten my personal record and got 40k points. This is huge. One of the best sticks I've ever used, hands down. As for other games, I don't see the point of testing it, because HEX Phantom is exactly the same as the regular DualSense, and I've been using DualSense for almost 5 years already. And as a conclusion, I should say it's fine for everything except for fighting games and fast-paced platforming games. Conclusion time! This is simply the best pro-style PS5 controller with extra features that money can buy if you don't care about the price. Of course, you can always buy a mod kit and mod it yourself. Even HEX Gaming and Extreme Raid themselves sell modding kits. But Phantom, in my opinion, is like an iPhone. It simply works out of the box. While modding is like an Android. You need to tinker a little bit, have knowledge and capable hands, which I don't have, for example. And if you're thinking about whether you should buy Phantom or Edge, I would say just pay a little more and get Phantom, simply because it has Hall effect sticks, while Edge has potentiometer sticks, microswitch trigger, and Edge only have a shorter travel distance, which feels not the same, and these ones are better, and 4 remappable back buttons, compared to only 2 on the Edge. Of course, it's up to you, but if it were for me, I would buy this controller instead of DualSense Edge. Yes, you pay $50 more, but at the same time you get a lot more features. All in all, I really like this controller, even though it's expensive, but you get what you pay for. Also, I forgot to say, it doesn't have metal ring around the stick, for example, like on every other controller. Instead, it has outer metal rings. So if you play lots of FPS games and you want the best controller you can get on the market and money is not a problem, just buy Phantom HEX. It's simply one of the best, if not the best controller on the market right now. And if you want to watch my review on Blitz 2 or Ultimate 2 WUCHANG edition, these two videos are now on the screen. Adios.